What's up? What's up? Couch Hustler, deal number 11. 5812 Grizzly Peak. 5812 Grizzly Peak. Awesome property. So, this one was just on the MLS. The guy couldn't sell the property. It was listed with like 3 or 4 different realtors, and I ended up door knocking him. That's how I picked this one up. So I was mailing him, put magnets on his garage door, postcards, and finally got on the phone with him. And it took a little bit. I think it took about 2 months to where he finally just agreed. He moved. He wasn't even living in the property. It was vacant. He moved to, what state did he move to? Not Florida, where they have Mardi Gras. That's where he moved. New Orleans. He moved to New Orleans. And he just didn't want the property anymore. But man, he had all kinds of liens on this property, and not like negative liens, but they were just like solar, ADT security, water softener. He got that special green grass, the fake green grass. That was a lien that he put on there, to have that installed. He had a full basketball court installed in the backyard. I mean, he had every type of lien that you could get on this property, because I figured he was just going to live there for a while. But anyways, he got it all, and we took it over. It cost me about $1,800 a month. It was all included, like in the loan, in the way he did it. But still, it's a lot of different liens that someone could put on a property. But it was a very nice home, very nice area, really nice guy too. He just wanted to get rid of it. But he did it to me right away. He really didn't have any issues, he had a few questions and concerns just to make sure that I was going to make the payment. But other than that, it was a pretty smooth transaction. He just gave it to me. I turned around and I put a lease option tenant in there. And you know what? The one from the last one on Snow Creek. See, the more I talk about these, the more they're starting to come back to me. So the one on Snow Creek actually bought this one too. I forgot. He did. He put 20 down and bought it, and he ended up putting a tenant in there because he didn't live in that one. He lived in the one on Snow Creek, and he ended up putting a tenant in this one at Grizzly Peak. And man, that tenant was a pain. We had to evict that tenant for him just because he didn't want to deal with it any longer. That tenant just moved in there and I don't know, I guess didn't make payments for like a year. He always made payment to me. Like, I never had an issue with him. Like, he's always made payments on both properties. But he put that tenant in there, and I guess she was stuck him out for like a year. So bad that he didn't care any longer. He just wanted to give it back to me. He didn't want to deal with her. He didn't want to deal with nothing. He lost the $20,000 on that one. He got the other one. He bought the one on Snow Creek, got a loan, bought it, cashed out. But on this one, he did lose the $20,000. I remember, and I had to go over there and talk to that tenant. And man, she was a pain in the butt. Let me tell you, it was hard to get her out. Luckily, they were kind of moving out when we got to them, but they were still kind of living there. It was weird because like I got into the property, and you could tell like they were kind of having furniture there, but not really. And we ended up calling Bakersfield PD because we didn't go through the whole eviction process. We were going to file and go through it, but we didn't have to. We actually just got Bakersfield PD involved, and they actually helped us out. They helped us out a lot, actually. They got them out. We put a lot of their stuff in the garage, and they got them out. And I just rekeyed it right away, and I put a friend in there. I had a real good buddy of mine stay in there just in case people wanted to come back at night or something like that. So we didn't have to go through the full eviction. And California, I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but man, the eviction process here is just crazy. There's a lot of, it's tenant friendly. Let's say that it's very tenant friendly. And if you're not a rich person, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you every month, where you could possibly lose your property, because you have to fork out that monthly payment every month, and you have no income coming in from them tenants. So anyways, sold the property to somebody else. The guy put down $30,000, $40,000 on the second, lease option buy, and he paid it off. He actually got the loan, got rid of it, and got it done. It was a no-brainer on the second part. I did pretty well on that one, just because the guy, when he walked away from the first one for the 20 down, he lost all the equity that he did, because it was over a time frame, maybe 3 years or so, and the market went up. But I cleared about $80,000 to $100,000 on that deal. It was a pretty sweet deal, or a home run. Some of these deals are pretty cool, especially if you catch them at the right time. So if you're getting these properties right now, and don't have a lot of equity, Kind of like what's going on right now. A lot of people don't have equity in their properties, but they got, these payments of $2,000 or $3,000 a month. And if you could get a tenant in there, and let's say you hold on to these properties and deal with a little bit of the tenant headache, the lease option headaches for the next 5 years, I mean, you could have some home runs. I've made 80 to 100,000 on a deal just because of this. And if you got enough of these properties, it's just instant cash, man. I mean, I didn't realize that when I had these properties, I didn't realize how much cash I had, right away. It's not like a instant, hit. Like 10 properties, I had $1 million in equity. You know what I mean? I didn't realize it until I started getting them back and selling them. I was like, whoa, I got $1 million. It's inside the building, like it's inside the equity of the property. It's not liquid until you sell it or refinance it or whatever. But it's kind of cool. You could become a millionaire overnight, literally, and not even expect it, because you got these properties that are just, you're buying, and you're not really anticipating that you're going to make too much with them. I was thinking I'm making money, 20,000 here, 20,000 there from these lease option down payments. But if these people never cash you out and you end up holding these properties for 5-10 years, and then you end up selling them when the market's up, like I did, you basically, you can make $1 million depending on how many you have. I didn't realize it, and I had these 23 at one time, so I was sitting on like $2 million in just, not in cash, but in equity. So all I had to do is just sell them or refinance them, and I could touch some of that money. It's kind of interesting, right? That's all it takes, is just to be able to get at least 20 properties. You don't really need that many. Like, I see some of these other guys on the internet talking about how they got hundreds of properties. Man, these guys are making, they've cashed out $10-20 million probably, if they cashed them out, depending on what they did. So anyways, that was that one. 5812 Grizzly Peak. Another deal down. Another deal that I picked up, sub 2. It's not as hard as you think. Just got to get them. And on to the next one.